Welcome to my program, Bashy's Corner. As all of us know that Danes will be electing a new government on 18th of June. Up until now, the present Prime Minister, Helle Thorning-Schmidt, was far behind with her bloc. But in the last few weeks, amazingly, she has succeeded in pulling all her forces back to the front. And now people say, opinion polls say, that she has a bigger chance now to be elected than it was before. So it can go either way. Somebody can say it's like 50-50 chance, but I personally would like her to win. And to check the reality of Danish politics, we have invited a very seasoned politician, Ulla Sandbæk. She has been in European Parliament, she has been in many different movements, and now she is a prominent member of a new political party called Alternative. And besides about Danish politics, I will also discuss with her her party's policies on equality, inclusion, and how the society together can move forward. Welcome to my program, Ulla. It's a pleasure having you, such a seasoned politician.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, first of all, I will congratulate you and your party to pull this surprise, to collect all those signatures, and then, come on the list so that your party can be in the election. Now, please tell me what attracted you to this party, because you have been in many different parties, you have been a member of European Parliament, you have been part of many other movements. Why this new party, untested, inexperienced party, attracted an experienced person like yourself?
Well, mainly because of the policies of the environment. Right now, we are acting as if we have several Earths, and we only have one.
So one planet.
We have only one planet, yeah. So we cannot spend 1.5 or 2 or even 6 planets. We only have this one. So if we want to deliver a planet to our children and our grandchildren, we have to change our ways and to stop consuming the way we consume now. This is the absolute main focus.
Okay.
The other one is that actually my colleague in the European Parliament, Jens Peter Bonde, and myself, we were talking that we need a new party in Denmark. We need a new party for all those people in public service who have to document everything they're doing, wasting their time with unnecessary documentation. We think that if you have a job and you have an education, your work should be based on trust. You shouldn't spend all these unnecessary hours.
With control.
Yeah, with control and documentation. So this was one thing. The other thing was that people who are unemployed are being hunted. Everybody believes that they're just lazy and don't want to work, and we don't find work for them. This was another thing, the selling of dong, and also the agreement with the teachers. There were many things where we thought the politicians have become not listening to the population anymore.
Okay.
So we thought we will make our own party. We didn't, but then Alternative came, and they had all the ideas that Jens Peter and I actually wanted to put into a party. So
but he has not joined the party.
No, he has not joined the party. He's writing his memories.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I thought, wow, I don't have to go out and make a party. It's already there. The Alternative is there with all the ideas I wanted to realize.
Okay. Now, I have also seen their party program, but few things which Alternative is fighting for or is planning. Also, Socialist Folkeparti's People's Party and Red Green Alliance has also the same program. So what is the difference?
Well, for us, the really main focus is the environment. But also, in his listen, they are a socialist party. They want more state and less community. We say we want more community, less state. It's not that we are against the welfare state. We are in favor of the welfare state. We're also in favor of a strong welfare state. But we want people to create jobs rather than receive jobs. So this is the main difference. I'm sure that we will cooperate with the other left parties a lot when we enter Folketinget, but this is the main difference between us.
Okay. Although the polls suggest now that your party is out of danger zone, you know, because yes. I remember there were many political analysts, they were making fun of your party and his party program, and the founder, Uffe Elbæk, you know, yeah. calling him all names. And now they have to eat their hat, you yeah. know. And now you are much above this minimum. But at the same time, one can ask you, a new party needs to have their feet in the parliament. Where would you be? Would you be in the center? Of course, you are not the right party. You are a right-wing party. Would you be in the center, or would you be to the left?
We will be center-left.
Center-left,
yeah.
wow, okay. So, but would you have that influence? Because your party program needs lots of influence, lots of support from other parties. Do you think that you will get it?
Yes, I'm sure we will get it. Not just because Helle Thorning needed us now to become the Prime Minister. And we have seen that even the left side, she hasn't counted on them very much. She's also made compromises with the right side of the parliament. Yes. But time will show that we are right. When the ice keeps melting up in Greenland, when there are no more polar bears, when there are going to be desertification, storms, when we have a lot of rain. My garden has been flooded all last winter. Yeah. So these things will show people by experience that we are right. And obviously the other politicians will have to see that as well. And this is one reason why we have risen from being a party that people believed would fall below the border to having now 4%. Everybody I talk with, they say, yes, we realize we cannot continue the way we have continued. It's not possible. Nothing in a closed space, nothing can grow infinitely. No, that's true. And now we are saying we should grow infinitely. They say that we should save the planet by growing, but the problem is growing. True. You cannot save something with the problem, which is causing it. Yeah, sometimes, and people see that.
You're right. Sometimes politicians have this tendency to close the eyes and say the world will stay the same.
You know, it's a little bit like smoking. You know that you will have cancer, but the idea of getting cancer is so scary that you don't stop smoking for that reason. It's the same with the climate. It's so scary that people don't want, they close their eyes exactly like you say. They close their eyes to it, but we cannot continue closing our eyes.
Why do people don't want to face reality which is staring in their eyes?
I don't know. I mean, people believe that it's not possible, but we know that it's possible. What you need to realize is, what you need to make these common policies, is that you need a more equal society. Because we compare ourselves with others and we wish what they have. Like if my neighbor says, I went to Tenerife and I had a marvelous time, I thought, wow, maybe I would like to go to Tenerife as well. But if my neighbor says, I went to a national park and I had this wonderful experience in the national park in Jutland, I would say, wow, isn't that great? I will go to the national park as well. We compare ourselves. We have everything we need. And also, it's documented that if you have a certain level of well-being, like we have in the Danish society, nobody goes hungry, we have very few people who are homeless. If they are, it's not by necessity, it's because they are sick and cannot cope with society. If we have all these things, getting more is not going to make us more happy.
True, true. No, but that's... I want to come back to your illustrious career in politics, you know. Could you please just tell us briefly how did you got involved in politics, European Union and MEP, a little bit, so that our people who are watching, they know that there is...
It's a very funny story, you know.
I know a little bit myself, but from our viewers. Yes. Yeah.
I used to be a pastor, and being a pastor, you work 60 hours a week. It's very hard. You have to write sermons, you have to conduct burials, marriages, you teach youngsters for confirmation, and all the time you have so much work that it's very hard for you to find inspiration. So after 18... But you have
divine inspiration.
Yeah, but sometimes divine inspiration, you know, you don't have the right kind of setup to get that exactly. So after 18 years, I felt that I was drained for inspiration and I really wanted to do something else. But living in a vicarage where my children went to school, and I knew that in the area where I was a pastor, I couldn't afford to live there if I wasn't going to be in the vicarage, and I didn't want to uproot my children. So I thought, what on earth can I do? And out of the blue, somebody called and asked, do you want to run for European Parliament? And I said, thank you, God. That was a brilliant idea. I couldn't have come up with it myself in a million years, because I was not a member of that party who asked me to run for European Parliament. Somewhere in the firmament, my wish was picked up and made real for me.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that fantastic?
Absolutely, it's a divine intervention.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's the first time that you will be contesting your Danish parliamentary elections.
Yes.
Okay. And you're excited about that?
Very.
Okay. I have noticed that there are many ethnic minority candidates in your party.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, we have let people who wanted to run for candidates list themselves. So afterwards they were, of course, elected. We made a meeting and they were elected. So our party has an appeal to ethnic minorities. So many people from ethnic minorities chose to try to run for us. That is because we don't make a differentiation between people. We welcome ethnic minorities, and we have a very, very liberal policy about inclusion, and also about getting my head sometimes not immigration, but
asylum.
Asylum, sorry,
yes.
Asylum, yeah.
But that was my next question, because you are a spokesperson of asylum for your party, right?
We didn't accept yet my proposal for asylum, but I believe that it will be accepted immediately after the elections. So when I speak about asylum, I cannot say this is my party's policies, but this is the policy that I have suggested my party, and I have seen that there is a very big degree of agreement, so I'm sure that it will be accepted. But what I have emphasized in this party is that asylum seekers, they need to be protected legally. A lot of people get rejected because the authorities say that they are not credible. And I mean, in a normal legal procedure, you are innocent until proven guilty. Here you are guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. And
terrible.
That's really terrible. And I know about families who said that their credibility was bad, and they were returned to where they came from on very, very thin grounds, you know. So now they can't return, but actually what they said was the truth, but they were not believed.
Are there any other areas you are interested over and above asylum?
Yeah, I have spent a number of years in Palestine, not living there permanently.
But you're interested in that issue?
Yeah, but going back and forth. I'm also an Art of Living teacher. Art of Living is a spiritual way, and we are teaching breaths, how to breathe properly, which releases stress and depression, and also yoga and meditation.
Wow.
So when I finished being a teacher, an Art of Living teacher, I decided I want to go and teach in Palestine, which I did.
As a teacher?
As a teacher.
Okay.
So I went February, March, April, and again September, October, November to Palestine. And I was teaching women who had been political prisoners in Israeli prisons.
Victims?
Victims, yes, victims. I taught them this program, which is 3 hours daily for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And this is a miraculous program. All my students, you could see after 2 weeks, you could see their faces change, you know. They were pale, they were closed, they were tormented. They started to lighten up, they started to smile, their eyes became shiny, they got jobs, they got boyfriends. Their husbands came to say to me, what did you do to my wife? All of a sudden she's not complaining about me anymore. So this was really magic.
Fantastic.
This one, I love to wear it because it was made by one of the women in prison. And she gave it to me as a present.
It looks fabulous.
Yeah, isn't it?
I'm sure that my viewers who are watching you and listening to you and the beautiful attire, they will be very impressed with this, your very powerful views about ethnic minorities. But what my question is that, can your party and yourself live up to that expectation which you have created?
Yes, because I think that we have very good arguments. In a number of years, or rather maybe even now, we are going to need more people in the Danish workforce.
Okay.
So by then, the people who have been refugees here will be able to enter the workforce. Also, we agree with Helle Thorning that when people come here,
the present Prime Minister,
yes, they shouldn't be in refugee camps. They should get into the labor market immediately. There they can learn Danish in a much better way than sitting in a refugee camp and having classes.
And use their qualifications.
A lot of the Syrian refugees are well trained, you know. So just this morning it came to my mind that actually we are given a present. These people, they didn't go to school here, they didn't go to any hospital here, they didn't go to kindergarten, they came ready-made. We didn't have any expenses on them whatsoever.
So we should appreciate it.
Yeah, we should appreciate that they came here with an education, with wonderful opportunities for our society. So it just came to me this morning that this is quite a good argument, actually.
I think it really is true, beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly, you don't have to spend millions on their education.
No.
Now, you're also writing a book about Palestinians, you know, who have lost their lives, gone martyrs, you know.
Yes.
Why? Is it a winning topic in Denmark?
No. I hope it will be a winning topic for Palestinians, because so many people consider Palestinians to be terrorists. This is what I hear everywhere, that they are wanting to throw Israel into the sea and what have you. And you know, actually Yasser Arafat recognized Israel, although people still say Palestinians have to recognize Israel, as if it didn't happen years ago.
No, that's true.
So this is a eulogy to Palestinians. This is to make Palestinians accepted in the world, to show that Palestinians are not terrorists.
Yes.
They are very kind, open, very friendly people.
I have visited also a couple of times in 2005. Ulla, what I hear from you and also what I know you are a great humanist, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want to ask you, the next thing is about this harsh tone in Denmark, which has come up now in a few years. In the media, many politicians, if you listen to them, you know, you say, where am I? And especially there's a lot of focus on Islam and Muslims, and there's people say a lot of things. Would you take up this kind of issues in the parliament?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would. I'm very hurt each time I see people attack Islam, because what they find in Islam is actually some Islamists' misuse of Islam. Islam is not like that. I know that for a fact. You know, Islam is not a terrorist religion, not at all. Also, when people speak that way to other people, it hurts me. It hurts me that as a Danish people who used to be a tolerant people, who used to welcome people here, who used to be angry about the policies against the black in the United States, that we have become even worse ourselves. It hurts me because of the people who are here, but it also hurts me for the people who do this, because these people pollute themselves from the inside.
True.
You cannot be untouched yourself in your own inside if you use this kind of language, and if you have these views, it will destroy you from the inside.
So that is my next question, is about this thing about extremism from the right wing. You know, you saw that this attack on the Muslim graveyard, and the police was saying, oh, it's just a children's prank, it's not anything serious, you know. And what I noticed was that the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, and all top politicians, the leaders of the party, except Johanna Schmidt, they didn't say one word. They did not condemn it right away and say, hey, this is not acceptable.
But I think that I saw that they did condemn it.
Not the party leaders, only small people, you know, in different parties, you know.
Really?
Like, yes, I was shocked.
That is really shocking, because this is completely unacceptable, and it's not a prank.
And yesterday there was a service outside graveyard. I was there. Not one top politician came.
This is also very bad.
And
if I had known, I would
people.
would have been there. I'm sorry, you know, a lot of things in this busy time escapes your notice. You know, I didn't know it was there. I would have loved to be there.
Yes. So how would your party deal with this practical issue called Islamophobia? Because it's growing now, you know. So,
whenever, first of all, we would give more money to not to the police and not to all these systems, but we would give more money to include people.
Yes.
To see that that people can get involved themselves in what is happening. There is in one of our meetings, I learned about a place called Charlottegården.
Yes.
Charlottegården is a place in Tostrup, and they have some money that they have spent with inclusion of the young people. There is no graffiti anymore in Charlottegården. Okay. There is no crime anymore. Wow. There is no hatred. People help each other. Nobody feels alone there. If they have a problem, they go to their neighbors. Yeah. This is very cheap. It's
empowerment of the people.
It's empowerment of the people.
Okay.
And it works. And it's much more cheap than employing extra police or employing or spending all the money for intelligence.
There's another thing I wanted to ask you, because you will be going to the parliament first time in Denmark. And many people with ethnic minority background, they sometimes complain that when politicians need their votes, they come to them and they talk so nice and they are inclusive. Once they get elected, there comes a big distance between them.
Yeah.
Can you promise them that you will be always open and supportive of them?
Absolutely. I think my past history has shown that. In the European Parliament, I was fighting for women's reproductive health and rights. I spent all my time fighting for the right to decide over your own body. I went to Africa a lot of times to work for minorities there, for AIDS, hidden children. It's in my blood to work for minorities, to work for human rights. I am a member of Amnesty International, and I was on the board. So, I mean, this is my gene.
Fine. So, keeping that in mind, I would like you to look at the camera and tell those people who just watched you, why should they vote for you? 1 minute you have.
Well, you can vote for me because I will be a champion for everybody who is repressed, for everybody who is a minority, for everybody who will use my support. I'm 72 years now, but I'm still out there working instead of growing my garden. I will do that as well, of course. But I have a lot of experience. I know how to use this experience as a champion for the suppressed. And I hope that I will be able to do that for the next 4 years also, if you vote for me. Thank you.
Ulla, many thanks for these wonderful views you have expressed. And we wish you all the best. And hopefully, when you are elected, we will invite you back so you can tell us after how it was. Until then, see you viewers, and I hope that you will vote for Ulla as many as you possibly can. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you very much.